Reveal. Wir haben alle Cars uns bis jetzt angeschaut, der kommenden Season. Jetzt ist es Zeit für das letzte Auto.
Richtig.
Nämlich das Auto des Weltmeisters. Das Weltmeisterauto.
Das auch dieses Jahr Weltmeister wird, weil Max Verstappen.
Ja, das ist so klar. Aber ja.
Oh, okay, hype doch schon mal.
Spring die Mucke ab. Nein, ich kann es nicht abspielen, weil, ja. Copyright-Musik. Ja, in weniger als einer Minute wissen wir, was Red Bull dieses Jahr herbringt. Wenn es, wie es aussieht, in irgendeinem Lagerhaus.
Wahrscheinlich machen die jetzt erstmal so einen 2-Stunden-Stream oder sowas.
Wahrscheinlich geht das, wenn die das fucking 2 Stunden in Länge ziehen, weiß ich auch nicht, was die. Ja. Was sind das? Die haben 3 Autos da stehen. Was soll das da? Babycar, Mittelcar und Muttercar?
Wir haben noch 25 Sekunden.
Ich glaube F2-Autos. Ich glaube, die revealen sehr vieles F2-Autos. Super, also F1 Supercar.
Ja.
10.
Da
Oh,
ist
meinst
doch
du das ernst?
Auto.
Der Bagger.
Du hast mich jetzt, du hast jetzt uns überholt. Wow.
Easy. Vor allem Red Bull sehe ich nämlich auch so.
Forever Red Bull.
Alter, dieser Gabelstapler, ey.
20 Years of Racing Cars, ist das 20. Jahr von ihnen da drin? Das kann sein sogar wirklich.
Nicht in der Formel 1, aber im Racing, ja.
Alte Red Bull Auto gezeigt. Ja, Mann.
Und ich gehe weiter mit Rap-Mucke.
Rap reden muss, damit wir Copyright kriegen. Watch.
Der ist schon wieder vorbei, alles gut. Ah, nevermind.
Vorbei, nevermind.
Aber das sind ein paar echt coole Red Bulls gerade mit bei. Ein paar echt geile Autos hatten sie, muss ich ihn dann lassen. Aber
ist das schon das neue Design?
Nein, das ist ein alter Red Bull, offensichtlich.
Die frühere Red
Die
Bull.
gehen ja ihre Formel 1 Geschichte ab. Du dürftest wissen, wie die neuen Red Bulls aussehen. Das sind die alten Autos gewesen.
Oh Gott, das ist alles Copyright fucking Music.
Red Bull Full Powertrain.
Ja, Mann. Immer.
Ah, so. In Milton Keynes haben sie aber das gleiche sein wie letztes Jahr mit den ganzen Red Bulls im
This is
Hintergrund.
it. We're here in Milton Keynes, and today we're making history. 20 years ago, Dietrich Mateschitz rewrote the script of motorsports with a team that's become the forever rebels of Formula One. The racing establishment wrote them off as just a fizzy drinks company, but the bubbles never burst for Oracle Red Bull Racing. As we launch this 20th season, what we're celebrating is a culture, a spirit and an attitude that's changed Formula One forever.
Ich sehe auch so doing it the Red Bull way. Das ist echt eine gute Idee. Deswegen, Ben, ist es auch wirklich, sagen wir mal ehrlich, ein Slogan, den solltest du dir auch mal fürs Leben merken. Doing it the Red Bull way.
Ja, ist klar.
Different way of operating with the emphasis on people being themselves. When we come together as a team, we like to feel unstoppable and let people know where we stand.
Machst du Sebastian Vettel? Machst du erstmal den Ego-Trip und danach bist du der wirklichste bester Guy ever immer.
When you look at some of the other projects that Red Bull are involved in, the extreme sports, we're tremendously proud to carry the Red Bull logo. It's become iconic in Formula One.
Ja, Christian Horner, du bist aktuell auch gezählt.
You know, I didn't want to let him down. And did I feel ready? Probably not.
When I first joined Red Bull, huge change culturally.
People saw Red Bull as a party team. They wanted to do things differently. You know when something just feels right, and there was a natural chemistry from those very first interactions. You know, are they completely mad? Is it just parties, or are they serious? You know, who's this kid, Christian Horner? And take a massive risk.
Let's add a stunt.
And then we're third, and that was the first podium, for the team. So it was a massive achievement.
Right. So anyway, are you still watching that, David? That looks like Sebastian Vettel went right into the side of Mark Webber. How do you read that?
Yeah, I think that Mark was holding position. As uncomfortable as it is to call that between those two guys.
Ach, die beiden, ey.
Mark is too slow, get him out of the way.
Multi 21.
Ja, Multi 21, meine Gute.
Und Sebastian Vettel. Hier.
Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion!
Dieser Mann.
We have to remember these things.
Fucking Webber. Aber Webber und Dings halt Ricardo.
Durch Ricardo kam nicht besser, flankiert, hier hat es getauscht mit Max Verstappen und ja, dann hast du Ricardo und Max Verstappen die Geschichte gehabt.
We may have a bit of a problem.
Got damage.
Und der vielleicht größte Mann aller Zeiten.
Wants to put himself in a great position.
Would have done that after that one.
This is how we do it, man. We shut our mouth and we work hard. This is the Mexican way.
And for the first time ever, a Mexican driver on the podium in his home race.
Ja, Checo's the Legend ist ganz schlecht gealtert. Ganz, ganz schlecht dieser Satz.
Und dann zeigen sie ihm immer noch die Stelle mit Abu Dhabi.
Ja, deswegen, es kam mir auch gerade im Hintergrund Checo's the Legend. Der Satz ist ganz schlecht gealtert.
Max Verstappen, you are the world champion! We are so proud of you!
No, Michael,
Max,
no!
you have been
It's gonna
absolutely mighty
not
this year.
right.
You've led over 1,000 laps, 19 victories. That's history.
You have just overtaken Ascari. That's a record from 1952, mate.
Yeah, we did that.
It's been an absolute privilege watching you drive this car that's been built by a team of brilliant people.
Max Verstappen wins 19 Grand Prix in a single season. Literally ludicrous domination.
You got built a rocket ship of the car.
Gut möglich.
20 Jahre Red Bull.
Please welcome two men who have been a part of the story from the very start. CEO and team principal of Oracle Red Bull Racing, Christian Horner.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and we've got Oracle Red Bull Racing legend, David Coulthard. Gentlemen, it's great to see you both. And as we just watched there, it's been quite the journey you've been on as a team. Now, Christian, I'll come to you first because you're now CEO and team principal of arguably one of the world's most successful
Hat er 15 Minuten zum Car-Reveal, Junge! Woohoo!
No former experience in Formula One. I mean,
Wenn wir jetzt 15 Minuten nochmal Zeit haben, was kann man jetzt im Live-Ding jetzt komplett alles ein bisschen... Ich will jetzt einmal komplett einmal zusammengebündelt. Die Launches allgemein waren solide Slash irgendwann, okay, warum posten sie plötzlich nur 1 Minuten Videos und so?
Ja, sie waren halt sehr kurz dieses Jahr. Es waren halt nur kurze Videos. Ja, und wahrscheinlich jetzt Red Bull.
Ja.
Aber hey, komm mal, aber erstmal zu, was Christian und David sagen.
Investment, but when I met with Mr. Mateschitz, it was absolutely clear this was more than just a branding exercise. This was an absolute commitment. And in that very first meeting, he said our goal is to win the World Championship. And it really took me back because I'm thinking, we haven't even got to the first race. Never mind got about building a team that can compete against, your Ferraris and the likes. But his vision, his commitment, Christian's leadership, along with all of the great technical men and women that have been part of this journey, has just been incredible. So when we started, it was a few hundred people in one factory down at the bottom of this road. Now we've got the whole campus and, 1,500 people or so employed?
And counting, yeah.
Such an incredible journey. And of course, it was clear from the off that you guys meant business because in your first race, sorry Jaguar to throw you in here, but in the first race, they scored more points than Jaguar had in the entire previous season, just saying. And then shortly thereafter, of course, this happened. So talk us through that moment where you got your first podium with Red Bull.
Yeah, well, Monaco is a circuit that I always went well, so I was confident that even though we were still a developing team, that there was an opportunity on a track like that to get a result. So I was convinced we were capable of making it certainly into some good point-scoring position. But a podium, of course, is a landmark for the team.
Look, I mean, it was the first trophy, and it sits very proudly in our cabinet. You know, and you know, David was such an important part of the early part of Red Bull Racing, and again, here we are 20 years with him still associated and working with the brand.
Absolutely. And so would you say that that was the moment that you really felt you'd arrived as a team?
I think it was an important moment because, you know, that trophy represented, you know, what was to come, and it also represented that we were prepared to do things a little differently. Seeing David standing on a podium in front of Prince Albert in a Superman cape on Red Bull's first podium just showed that, you know, we were doing it differently. We were doing it the Red Bull way.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention, actually, at that time, Formula One was quite a closed shop. You didn't go into the other teams. It was very much, you know, each team was its own entity. Red Bull,
Sport haben die immer ernst genommen.
Teams were welcome. And at first you could see other team members sort of nervously walking up into the energy station thinking, is something going to happen? And then over time it just changed the whole philosophy of Formula One, and the paddock is a much friendlier place because of it.
Naja, aber es ist generell so bei Sport, da waren sie immer relativ kompetitiv. Aber die waren da vorher schon bei, als Sponsor für irgendwelche Extremsportarten mit bei und so.
Women here in Milton Keynes, all the people behind the scenes, it's out of these industrial buildings that we've created some of the most incredible cars over the last 19 seasons, and the late nights, the hours, the sacrifices that are made. It is a culture. It's a very inclusive culture. It's a team culture. For me, Formula One is the biggest team sport in the world, and without the people, you have nothing. And it's the people who are your single biggest asset.
Absolutely. Now, we've spoken a lot about teammates and we've heard just how important the team is. So why don't we hear from some of the people who have all played their part in these very special 20 years.
Trying to hide your disappointment better than that, honestly. Sake, what are we doing here? No. This line of questionings is appalling. We're done?
Yes. Is that about, let's get those in.
There are rebels and characters throughout. There's so many of them. I mean, you can start with Vache. He's got a few Pink Panther moves that some parts
Wie gesagt, letzten Endes mehr gewesen, aber ich bin jetzt glücklich, dass wir jetzt letzten Endes ein Ende haben mit diesem Car-Release und dann wir endlich dann Richtung nächsten Wochen, nächsten, ich sag mal, Testrennen sehen und dann endlich mal unsere Podcast-Dinger wieder weiterführen können mit dem ersten Rennen Bahrain.
It has to be fun. You have to enjoy what you're doing. It's not a 9-to-5 job in Formula One. It's a competition, it's a sport, and it's fantastic to see as we travel around the world the amount of support that the team enjoys in every country that we go to.
Bob hat immer noch den letzten Stream, glaube ich, vergessen, den letzten Podcast hochzuladen vergessen.
A culture that was inclusive, that, that we were there to operate as a race team.
Growing up within the team has been very nice. Of course, everyone has always been very supportive, and we all always trusted each other, and I think that makes our relationship very special.
Everyone is seeing how they can support the guy next to you.
I think Red Bull just came across as a great place to work, where there was kind of that fun, a bit young and energetic.
He's a team product. He's never an individual.
You race as one team. It's vital, isn't it? You get different views, different ideas, different personalities.
And how you choose them, how you develop them.
Wie gesagt, sie haben ja den Industrie-Kingpin Adrian Newey halt am Start. Das macht halt auch viel aus.
We are now joined by Group Chief Technology
Speaking of which,
Red Bull Racing, aka the go-to F1 engineering. Please give it up for Adrian Newey. Welcome, Adrian. So, as you've seen, we've been going through the journey of everyone, and I want to start off with you. Going back to 2004, you already had 2 decades of experience designing championship-winning cars, both for teams which David drove for. So I have to ask you, was it a bit of a bromance going on that brought you to Red Bull?
As it turns out, the 3 teams that David has driven for is actually the same 3 teams as I've worked for, and so I've known David since he was a We test drive a very young lad in 1993, I think. He then moved to McLaren. I moved to McLaren a year after. He moved to Red Bull. And then really from there, things developed.
And how excited were you, David, when you found out that Adrian was joining the team?
Well, Adrian has been incredibly successful through his entire career, even prior to Formula One. So when Christian first suggested that, would Adrian be available? At that point, I was so immersed in trying to understand where we were as a team, I hadn't really given that consideration. But thankfully, he accepted the challenge and the invitation, and the team of people that he's built here has been proven out by the success. The thing that I really love about Adrian, as well as being obviously a creative chap, pretty handy when it comes to being at the drawing board, because for those who know Formula One closely, they'll know that Adrian still uses a pencil to design, but he's a racer. And maybe he doesn't have the same racing success as Max Verstappen, but he has been out on the racetrack, and he likes to keep it simple. I remember once, going into great detail, explaining everything the car was doing on a lap, and at the end of having given this long explanation, he went, "What do you need to go faster?" Kept it simple. And then I went, "Well, understeer." And he went, "Okay, we'll work on the understeer." So out of all of this sort of, mess going on in my head about the journey around the racetrack, just focus on what you need to go quicker. And that simplicity has clearly been very successful for him and his team.
Incredible. Now, Christian, of course, even the greatest teams go through challenging moments. And fast forwarding now to 2014, when Mercedes started to look a little bit unbeatable, how did you stay resilient as a team?
Well, I think that that was a testing period for the team. That there was a big regulation change. We'd gone from enjoying huge success with Sebastian Vettel in those 4 consecutive World Championships, and suddenly, for reasons beyond our control, we didn't have an engine that could compete with the likes of what Mercedes had come up with. So suddenly it was about keeping the group together, keeping the team together, staying focused on addressing the weak point and focusing on the things that we could control and things that where we could be strong. And I think it was that team spirit, it was that togetherness that we didn't lose
10 Jahre später
key members of the team during that period, and we were able to win races every single year bar one until we got ourselves in a position with a competitive engine to suddenly then be able to go for a championship again.
Now, we've spoken a lot about the past, but I know that Red Bull is a lot about the future, and in particular, backing young talent through Visa, Cash App RB, and Oracle Red Bull Racing. How important is it to you to bring in those fresh new names?
Well, look, it's really exciting, and I think Red Bull have committed more to Formula One Academy.
Deswegen, wie gesagt, man darf halt nie vergessen, egal ob man Red Bull mag oder hasst, man darf nie vergessen, wie viel die generell für Sport machen. Wir in der F1, wie viele fucking junge Fahrer haben die hochgezogen durch ihr Jugendprogramm und durch halt ihr zweites. Das ist extrem, wie viele es waren.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, let's have a look at that next generation of racing and some very exciting young female talent.
I'm Emily de Heus. And I'm Hamda Al-Kubaisi, and I'm part of the Red Bull Academy program. A few years ago, I couldn't even think about being part of Red Bull. It was always a dream. F1 Academy is a big opportunity. My ambitions for next season is I want to win, I want to be champion, of course. I feel like Red Bull has done many amazing things, not just in motorsport. It's exciting to be part of it.
And here they are in the flesh from the Red Bull Academy program. It's Hamda Al-Kubaisi and Emily de Heus.
Sieht aus wie Formel Lena ungefähr ein bisschen.
All right, so Hamda, I'll come to you first, as you'll be driving for F1 Academy for Red Bull Racing. Tell us a bit about your journey into motorsport and how this program is helping you with the next level of your career.
Yeah, I got into karting when I was 12 years old, and I fell in love with the sport immediately. And from there, we moved up the ladder into F4 and finally into F1 Academy last year. We ended the season very strong in the top 3, and now I'm part of the Red Bull family and couldn't be more grateful about this opportunity.
Super excited. And Emily, what does it mean to you to be a part of the Red Bull family, and what was your journey into motorsport like?
Well, I started karting when I was 9 years old at the local karting track, and in 2021 I started to go in Formula cars. And last year I did F1 Academy and I won my first race in Barcelona. And this year I'm part of the Red Bull family and I'm really proud of that.
Absolutely, you should be. It's an incredible achievement that you've both done. So, Christian, looking at this, seeing the amazing young talent, how special does it feel to know that Red Bull are offering these incredible opportunities?
Well, it's a great initiative, and of course, Red Bull have got a long history with the young driver program that obviously Helmut's done a great job of running and nurturing. But again, this is a new element, and with F1 Academy coming really on stream, supporting many Formula One races this year, it was the ideal time to step in and identify some young talent.
Well, best of luck for this season. Thank you very much, Hamda and Emily. So I'm now back with Christian Horner, Adrian Newey, and Technical Director Pierre Wache. Welcome. So now we are getting closer to that big reveal of the RB20. But before we do that, let's just take a moment to reflect on the RB19 because, I mean, it was a record-breaking car, such an incredible machine. So Adrian, it'd be great if you could take us back to the drawing board.
The 19 really was very much an evolution of the RB18 of 22. Last year's car really was a total surprise in terms of its dominance, I have to say, because we went into that winter of 22-23 thinking, yeah, Mercedes won a race near the end in Brazil, Ferrari was still winning races. It was still very tight, and on our side we just concentrated on kind of improving some of the weaknesses of the 22 car. And to our complete shock, really, by half season it was becoming pretty evident that we had a march on our competitors.
And Pierre, I know that you love that thrill of competition that we've just spoken about. Is that what helps you to constantly push to find an edge?
Yes, for sure. But you know, this business of Formula One is the highest engineering competition in the world. But to have this success, you know, you need to have all departments in our business to be competing with the other team. Then the competition is at each level, and for sure is making the motivation great.
And Christian, what brief did you give these guys before they were designing?
Well, look, that's not up to me, but you know, the 23 car was really an update of the 22 car, and operationally, I think Max was insane the way that he drove last year. So to have achieved all of those records, you know, 22 victories, 19 for Max, to have achieved first and second in the Drivers' Championship, something we'd never done before. 15 straight victories in a row, breaking McLaren's record from 1988. As the guys say, it's down to the people, and you need everybody in every department doing their bit to achieve those kind of results. It was a magical year.
What's the changes for this year's car?
You have to keep pushing. We've made some improvements to the car in all areas, mechanical, vehicle dynamics and aerodynamics.
Is it enough, sagt er?
Is that enough? Who knows? We shall have to see.
Watch this space. And Pierre, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, we feel the same way. You know, just we try to identify where we can gain performance on the car. Try to also understand where our weakness for the driver, and after it's just an evolution of what we did in the previous year.
Oh, well, gentlemen, thank you so much. It's great to hear your insights. And now we've made it to that moment that we've all been waiting for, the big reveal. It's your first sight of a car that's going to be making a
sieht wahrscheinlich genauso aus wie letztes Jahr.
So get ready for this. It's time to meet the RB20.
Also Max hat einen Spoiler gesagt, dass er gleich aussieht. Oh my God.
Sebastian tried to continue tires. Lewis in the fast corner. Come out, we need to target high 41. Only half race here. Only half race here.
Well done, Checo. That's a great podium.
Oh mein Gott, das sieht wirklich genau gleich aus. Ey! Wie innovativ man bei Red Bull ist. Ey!
Es ist ja gleich von letztes Jahr.
And here she is in the flesh. The RB20, everyone.
Kann hier einer
Joining
bitte
us are the
das
two drivers who'll be behind the wheel of
also
this
immer
beauty.
Vorjahr
Please
und
welcome
Neujahr gibt's
three-time
immer
and
eine
reigning world
Folge
champion Max
von
Verstappen
80.
and
Geburtstag von
Mexico's
der
mighty
alten
minister
Dame.
of defense.
Können wir bitte
Checo
immer wieder
Perez.
diesen Clip abspielen?
But I want to come to you first. Firstly, congratulations
Yeah,
on
dinner
this
for one.
incredible car. Could you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's you can see it's an evolution of last year's car, but you know, as our 20th version, the guys haven't been, you know, it's not
Warte, die haben
conservative,
noch
and
einen
you can
roten
see they've
Strich
been quite
bekommen.
aggressive in certain areas.
Ui, guck mal, jetzt
You
hängt
can
bei
see
mir
all
das
the men
Stream.
and women behind the
Awesome,
scenes
da ist
have been
ein
working
Stream.
very hard, and
Red
some of
weiter.
the detail on the car is absolutely exquisite.
And Max, I'll come to you next. You had one of the most incredible, if not the most incredible
Exquisite
season in
indeed.
Formula One last year. You broke your own record for the most race wins in a season and, of course, took your third World Championship title. How excited are you to be driving the RB20? And are we confident that this is the car that will help you get your fourth title?
I guess time will tell, but yeah, no, I'm excited. It's always very nice to see a new car come to life and how it's built up with all the people around it. When you do your seat fit as well, and for me at the moment it's more about just looking forward to Bahrain, get testing, get comfortable with the car, understand what it needs, and yeah, just work from there. It's such a long season that we just try to hit the ground running as good as we can. Really try to understand the car, and then we'll see where we end up.
And Checo, you had a brilliant season. You helped Red Bull secure their first 1-2. Tell us, what are your ambitions for 2024?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really happy to see. I've seen that the whole team has put together an incredible concept, and I think now we just want to hit the track, properly. But I believe that we've made some good steps in the right direction, so it should be another great season for the team.
Absolutely. Well, we're all wishing you the very best of luck. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Christian, Checo, Max, another big round of applause to them. And of course, to everyone at Oracle Red Bull Racing, not just for today, but for everything that they've done over the last 20 years as the forever rebels of Formula One. Now, that's sadly all the time that we have for today. We're finishing off today with the past versus the future. The very first Red Bull car, the RB1, facing the new RB20 on track at Silverstone. It's the first iconic Red Bull moment of the new season, and trust me, there'll be plenty more to come in 2024.
Gefühlt die Hälfte der Zeit ganz vorne dabei.
Ja.
This is where it all started, Christian.
Yeah, the golden oldie.
Yeah. This scored points in its first ever Grand Prix. 2005. How old were you?
8 years old.
This was state of the art, but they're basic now when you look at the modern Grand Prix car.
Good to see that running again. Bring back some memories.
Yeah. I think it actually looks better than it did when we took it to the first race.
I think we all do.
From RB1 to RB20, all the best for the year ahead.
Thank you for watching. Hey.
Hey, Red Bull, meine Freunde.
Und ich kann einen guten, runden Satz sagen, zu sagen, danke, dass man Red Bull überhaupt das gemacht hat, dass man das kleine Vorspiel gemacht hat, nochmal die alten Zeiten nochmal reinzuballern. Letzten Endes, sind wir ehrlich, wir müssen alle auf Bahrain gucken, alle werden so sein, ja, Red Bull wird sowieso wieder dominieren und so.
Wahrscheinlich.
Ich bin in der Hoffnung, dass das vielleicht ein bisschen anders ist, aber letzten Endes, ich bin gespannt, wie die Formel 1 dann so wird. Hoffentlich erwarte ich ein bisschen spannendere Rennen als nur Singapur, wo Sainz um 4 Autos gekämpft haben, um Platz 1 zu kriegen, so ungefähr. Also,
abwarten.
Ja.
Viele haben, also wie gesagt, Mercedes hat ja komplett neu angesetzt. Ferrari war ja am nähersten dran gefühlt. Ding ist, schauen wir mal. Dann haben wir natürlich Leute wie Kick, die dieses Jahr aggressiv sind. Was auch immer heißt, ob sie ihre Autos ganz zerschotten wollen oder so. Ich habe keine Ahnung.
Faszinierend.
sonst zum neuen, da habe ich noch ein Bild vom aktuellen neuen RB. Von Delivery ist sehr ähnlich zum letzten Jahr.
Ich finde es interessant, die Sidepods sind halt inverted. Also
Ja,
so,
richtig.
die sind halt normalerweise ist er wirklich offen, der ist von außen nach innen. Das ist ein bisschen das ist sehr interessant bei diesem neuen Auto.
War das beim alten anders?
Nein, ja, da war es ein normales
ja.
Loch.
Ob das jetzt einen großen Unterschied macht oder nicht, das werden wir bald sehen.
McLaren hatten das auch. Die haben das ja auch geändert mit den Sidebox.
Du kannst halt so nutzen, zieht halt die Luft so ein bisschen ein, weil es dann weiter reinführen kannst. Das soll halt so ein bisschen wahrscheinlich trichtermäßig funktionieren.
Ah, okay.
Das ist halt das, was ich vermute.
Wahrscheinlich.
Sonst sehe ich gerade mal so, wie ich so drüber gucke. Oben der Lufteinlass überhalb des Cockpits ist ein bisschen eckiger geworden. Der war im letzten Auto noch deutlich runder, was ja okay ist. Vorne der Flügel ist jetzt ein bisschen anders gerundet. Die Grundform bleibt aber bestehen. Und sonst, wenn ich mal so drüber gucke, sonst irgendwas, was mir da so auffällt. Auf den ersten Blick. Also diese zwei Sachen, die mir als erstes aufgefallen sind. Flügel ist ja leicht anders, aber ansonsten bleibt die Grundform eigentlich bestehen. Nur die Sidepods, wie gesagt, die halt umgedreht sind, was sehr interessant ist. Und wie gesagt, halt neuer eckiger Pod, das sind halt diese zwei Dinge, die eigentlich ganz interessant sind an dem Ding.
Jo. Ja, wir werden sehen. Die werden wissen, was sie gemacht haben.
Offensichtlich.
Sag ich mal, danke fürs Zuschauen.
Jo.
Und damit sind wir dieses Jahr mit den ganzen Car-Reveals durch, würde ich sagen.
Das ist korrekt, ja.
Dann danke fürs Zuschauen bei allen Car-Reveals. Bis zum nächsten Stream, der dann wahrscheinlich das Pre-Season-Testing sein wird.
Jo.
Hey.
Bis dann. Ciao.
Tschüss.
Ciao.